Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the Pride Lands. But we're not just revisiting the classic story we all know and love. We're going to explore a dark, fascinating theory that could change the way you see the Lion King forever. It's a theory that suggests Scar, when in death, may have had the last laugh. This is the story of Simba's curse. So, let's set the scene. Scar's defeated, the hyenas are gone, and Simba takes his rightful place as king. The land is restored, the circle of life is back in balance, and everything seems perfect. Simba and Nala have a beautiful daughter, Kiara, and the future of the Pride Lands looks bright. But what if I told you that Scar's influence didn't end with his reign? What if he left behind a final, terrible act of revenge? To understand this, we need to go back to Scar's final moments. Cornered, defeated, he screams at Simba, "You wouldn't kill your own uncle." But then, in a moment of desperation, he whispers to the hyenas, blaming them for everything. We all know how that turned out. The hyenas, feeling betrayed, turned on Scar and end his life. But what if, in that last, hate-filled breath, Scar uttered a curse? A curse upon Simba and his bloodline. A curse that would ensure his heir would never rule in peace. Now, you might be thinking, a curse? Isn't that a bit far-fetched for the Lion King? Well, let's remember the world we're in. This is a world with mystical mandrills who can communicate with the great kings of the past. A world where the spirits of dead kings can literally form in the clouds and give advice. Magic and spiritual power are very real in the Pride Lands. So, the idea of a dying king's curse isn't so crazy after all. It fits perfectly within the established rules of this universe. So, what is this curse? The theory goes that Scar cursed Simba's heir, dooming them to fall in love with an outsider, an enemy of the Pride Lands, someone who would bring chaos and division, just as Scar himself did. His final revenge would be to watch Simba suffer through the same conflict Mufasa faced. A family torn apart by a forbidden connection. And who is Simba's heir? Kiara. Now let's look at the Lion King too. Simba's pride. The story revolves entirely around Kiara and her forbidden love for Kovu, an outsider. And not just any outsider. Kovu is Scar's hand-picked successor. He was born during Scar's reign and chosen to follow in his paw prints and avenge him. The connection couldn't be more direct. Think about the parallels. Mufasa's brother, Scar, felt like an outsider and brought ruin to the kingdom. Now, Simba's daughter, Kiara, is drawn to a literal outsider. The symmetry is almost poetic, isn't it? It's as if history is repeating itself, but with a twisted irony that only a villain like Scar could appreciate. Simba's reaction throughout the second movie is one of extreme paranoia and fear. He's overprotective of Kiara, constantly worried about the outsiders in the shadow of Scar. He says, "Kiara, you don't know him, and he is one of them, Scar's chosen one." Of course, part of this is his own trauma from his past. He lost his father to Scar's treachery and was manipulated by him for years. But what if his fear is amplified by something more? What if, on a subconscious level, he feels the weight of Scar's curse? He sees Kiara's connection to Kovu not just as a youthful mistake, but as a dark prophecy unfolding before his very eyes. Let's look at Kovu. He was literally raised to hate Simba. Zira, his mother and Scar's most loyal follower, filled his head with Scar's ideology of power, entitlement, and revenge. Kovu's entire purpose in life was to infiltrate the Pride Lands, get close to Kiara, and assassinate Simba. The plan was a direct continuation of Scar's war. The curse isn't just making Kiara fall for an outsider, it's making her fall for the perfect weapon designed to destroy her family. And it almost works. The division Kovu's presence creates is immense. The Pridelanders don't trust him. Simba struggles to see past his origins. The tension culminates in a massive battle between the Pridelanders and the outsiders. A civil war that threatens to tear the kingdom apart all over again. Sound familiar? It's exactly the kind of chaos Scar thrived on. From beyond the grave, his will is being enacted. His spirit of division lives on, poisoning the next generation. Even Rafiki, the wise shaman, seems to be fighting against this dark magic. He sees the connection between Kiara and Kovu, and guided by Mufasa's spirit, he actively tries to bring them together. He sings Upendi, a song about love, trying to foster a bond that can overcome the hate they were born into. It is as if the spirits of the good kings are actively working to counteract the curse laid by the evil one. The entire spiritual realm is engaged in a tug-of-war for the soul of the Pride Lands, with Kiara and Kovu as the pawns. Now, of course, love conquers all. Kiara and Kovu's bond proves stronger than the generations of hate. They refuse to fight and show their families that they are one. Zira, unable to let go of her hatred for Simba and her loyalty to Scar, is the one who ultimately falls. The two prides unite, and the circle of life is mended once more. The curse, it would seem, is finally broken. But was it? Kiara did fall for an outsider. The kingdom was brought to the brink of collapse. Simba was forced to relive his worst nightmares, watching his daughter get close to the legacy of the lion who murdered his father. In many ways, the curse succeeded. It didn't achieve its ultimate goal of destroying Simba, but it inflicted incredible pain and suffering. It was Scar's last, desperate act to ensure that even in victory, Simba would never know true peace. He forced Simba to confront his own prejudices and fears, pushing him to the edge. This theory adds an incredible layer of depth to Simba's pride. It transforms it from a simple Romeo and Juliet story with lions into a tale of generational trauma and a battle against a lingering, supernatural evil. It makes Simba's journey even more tragic, and his eventual acceptance of Kovu even more heroic. He isn't just forgiving a former enemy, he's breaking a curse set by his greatest foe. And what about Kion from the Lion Guard? The series takes place between Kiara's first meeting with Kovu and her first hunt. Kion receives the Roar of the Elders, a power that Scar once possessed but lost because he used it for evil. This is another piece of the puzzle. The spirit of the Pride Lands gives Kion this power, perhaps as another defense against Scar's lingering influence. Kion's duty is to protect the Pride Lands and the Circle of Life, and a big part of that involves dealing with the consequences of Scar's reign, including his ghostly return in a volcano. Scar's evil is a persistent force, a stain that can't be easily washed away. So, the next time you watch the Lion King saga, think about this. Scar wasn't just a power-hungry tyrant. He was a master of manipulation, a creature of pure spite. And it is completely in character for him to ensure that his defeat wouldn't be the end of his story. His final revenge wasn't a physical battle, but a psychological and spiritual war waged against Simba's heart and his legacy. The curse of Simba is a chilling testament to the idea that hate can echo through generations. And that true victory isn't just about winning a fight, but about breaking the cycle of that hate. What do you guys think? Do you believe in Simba's curse? Does it make the story of Simba's pride more powerful? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more theories. Until next time, stay curious.